we had the opportunity to bring in a speaker on that, and these two ladies that are with me today attended that, and so we want to kind of cascade some of that information to you. So this is Cindy Lattimore. She is the counselor at Indian Capital Technology Center in Salisal, and this is Tia Shelby, and she is the school counselor at Central High School in Salisal. And they have a really great group called the Sequoia County School Counselors Association. Y'all meet together every month, don't you, at Cindy's place?
Pretty much, yes.
I love that.
Sometimes it's not at our place, but
yeah,
it's close.
Okay.
But how many of you are from high schools? You're a high school counselor or representative. How many of you are from a career technology center? Okay. Good.
Middle school? Elementary? Another group that works with career development or post-secondary? Post-secondary. Are all y'all Choctaw Nation over there? All right, okay. Fantastic. Okay.
Well, I think we're ready to begin.
We are.
As Dr. Curry started, she had us do something that we were so overjoyed to do. We had to get up and participate. So since we had to do that, we think we should also let you enjoy that experience. And honestly, it was wonderful. And so the first thing that she had us do was she used the room as like a line, a measuring stick, so to speak. So at one end we had 10 and the other end we had 1. And then we had to place ourselves where we fell, okay? And so the first thing she said, I think, was, and 1's over there, 10's over there, so get ready to move as you feel you would fit. How prepared did you feel in high school, when you were in high school, how prepared did you feel for life after graduation? So the first thing she asked, so you put yourself.
Which end was which?
Very prepared for life after high school.
Are you a 0?
I'm like a negative 25.
He's going to hide the 1. I'm like, oh, he was a 0. Okay.
Negative 25.
All right.
Okay. So we have very unprepared to very prepared. And where do you fit, sir?
Right about here.
Right about there. And
Right about here.
You're right about there. Okay. So let's just start. Is there somebody over there in the 1s that would like to maybe talk about that a little bit? You know, did you have anybody helping you at all? Okay. So you guys who were the 10s, if you have any help? If you're in the 9, 8, 10 range?
Great parental support, great school support, small community, so everyone, seemed like everyone thought they were kind of involved in that process for me, so yeah, it was awesome. Great support system.
So, okay, so you had support,
It's like it take a village to raise a kid, and that's the way it was in the classroom.
Awesome. Both of you for participating. It's handy. I want to know. I am so willing to bribe. Okay, so you guys who were down here, did you participate? I thought you kind of did. You shared. No? There you go. Okay, so let's now think back to when we were in the 5th grade. So picture yourself in 5th grade. 5th grade, okay? Now, how many of you knew what career you wanted to pursue in the 5th grade? And put yourself on the number line where 1, you did not know in 5th grade what career you wanted to pursue. 10, you knew in 5th grade what career you wanted to pursue.
Yeah, I still don't know.
5th grade. Just yes. Okay, so I'm just going to ask for volunteers. If you would like to share your story about either how you knew or whatever you thought or felt about this question, I would be happy to bribe you. So,
Is candy involved?
Candy is involved.
I don't eat candy, but when I was in elementary school, I wanted to be a teacher. And so at the end of the year when the teachers would give out their old classroom set of teachers' books and things like that, I always wanted to take them home and play school all the time. And so that was my main thing. I would play school and pretend I was teaching kids, and always wanted to be a teacher. Always.
Okay. You may not need the candy, but you can keep it for later. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Be
I
brave.
didn't know when I was a junior in college what I was going to be.
You didn't know as a junior in college.
No, but see, I came from a long line of teachers, grandparents, parents. That was the calendar with which I grew up. That's the school calendar, so I'm not surprised I went into teaching, but no, that was like my third major.
That's funny because my daughter, when she was about in 8th grade, she wanted to be a news broadcast lady. She wanted to be on television and all this. And so one day at like 5:30 in the morning, I woke her up and I said, "Hey, we don't have any school today, but come on, get up. You're going to get up." And she's like, "Mom, we don't have school. We don't have school." And I come in there and I go, "Yeah, but I'm in education and she's not. And we're home because it's a bad snow day." And later on, now she's a senior in college, junior student teaching, and so she's going to be his teacher.
Okay, well, let's move it up ahead a little bit to 8th grade. So put yourself on the number line if you knew, about where you think you need to be. 1, you knew. 10, I'm going to reverse. 1, you didn't know. 10, you did know what career you wanted to pursue in the 8th grade.
Then I was like, oh, because both of my parents were teachers, so that was my experience is, you're in education. So that was my first look at, oh, this is what my skill set is, this is what I'm interested in, and these are the things that I could do with that. And we did that in the 8th grade.
In the 8th grade. Awesome. Okay, thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
So I grew up in a family that had never gone to college before, and so my parents encouraged me to go to school and to be the best, but deep down, nobody had. So that expectation really wasn't there. And so I just wanted to play sports and make just good enough grade so that I could. And that's what I did in the 8th grade.
Think back to that senior year. And so put yourself on the number line according to if you knew your career.
What if you knew it but you were wrong?
You can decide on where you go on the number line, Cindy.
I'm with her. I know I do it.
All right. Now, 12th grade. We're older and wiser, right? Okay, anybody want to share why you made the move to the number line, the number that you're on now? Denise?
I'll share. I was a really shy student in school, and my high school counselor here, she could.
Miss Ewing.
And my senior year, I went to Tech, which was Indian Capital Technology Center. And it gave me the confidence that I needed. I felt like I was finally good at something. And I decided my senior year that I wanted to be a tech teacher. And that's what I went to college for, a business teacher. But I didn't decide until that year.
Because Tech gave you the opportunity to speak in front of crowds and expand your horizons and all sorts of things, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else want to share?
I thought I knew what I wanted to be. So I went to my counselor and said, I want to be a DJ. And so he said, go home tonight, turn on the radio, and turn it to every station. And you come back tomorrow and tell me how many female disc jockeys you heard. So I went home and I searched every station, and there was no female disc jockeys. So I came back the next day and I said, yes, you're right. I can't be a disc jockey because there are no female disc jockeys on the radio. So that was it for me. I could have gone to a broadcasting school.
Yes. Well, you never know. You may still be a disc jockey someday.
Oh, I like teaching better.
Okay. Well, it's a good example of how others can influence us. Sometimes we are lifted up by those people, and sometimes we're not. And we are, as counselors and people involved with students, sometimes so unintentionally just impactful on their lives. I know I can remember a student that went to university for just a college day. And she was in my office. I was a high school counselor at Muldrow, and And she was talking about it, and I was only halfway paying attention, and I guess I said something to her because she told me later that I had, and I didn't even remember saying it. But she said that I had said something about, well, it sounds like you found your niche or something like that, like you would say to somebody like that. And that's when she realized that, yes, I have. This is the place I need to go, but I didn't think anything about it. And so we do have to be so careful with our words. So, did I give you candy?
Yes,
I did. Okay, all right. Let me look back at my notes to see. That was all she asked us to do up in front of everybody at this time, but I assure you we're not done with being interactive. So do you feel like you're now interacting? Because we want you to. Okay, so you can have a seat.
Okay, they're passing out career cards. And how many of you know about Teachers Pay Teachers? Yes, good, good, good. Okay, so this, during our workshop, she had just used a coloring book and taken the pages out, laminated them, and they were great. I tried to find the coloring book that she used for the career cards. I couldn't find them. So this was on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it was, I don't know, less than $5, and I was able to download it, and what you're seeing in front of you are different careers, different career cards. And because I have small children, they are my guinea pigs. Okay, so I use all of this stuff with them, ranging from 5 all the way to middle school. And whenever I was cutting them out at my house, they were really interested in what all of these careers. So the way I use these with my classroom students, we were asked during our training to just take one and then trade. And you could trade up to 5 times or so, and it was a job that you would actually do. So if someone had that particular career and you weren't going to do it, then you didn't take it. You would go to the next person and try to find a career that you would actually take. We did this similar training with our group of adults, and we gave them more career cards, and they were able to trade around. But if in the classroom with younger kids, obviously you could do the same thing. Give them 2 or 3, let them trade. Very interactive, fun, get up, move about, and it's a good time. Even my high school kids, whenever these were laying out on my desk, oh, Miss Shelby, let me look at those. How long do I have to go to school for this? How much is it going to pay me? Yes, they were interested. So I think that it's a great resource, it's a great tool to use. Any way you wanted to use it, I think it would be beneficial. So this was on Teachers Pay Teachers, $4, not a big deal. Do you want to trade around?
Yes, I think we need to trade. What we're going to ask you to do is to get up, mingle, and trade cards so that you end up with something that you would like. So we're going to give you a few minutes to do that.
Trade just one card, both cards?
Trade both of them. Now, we can do this so many different ways.
Yes.
We could ask you to get one that you would hate and one that you would love, or 2 that you might like. I mean, we could just make, this is so usable in so many different ways. But we're going to ask you to make a trade so that you have 2 cards that you might consider.
Cindy's on the move, man.
Would you like to be a mailman
Cindy
or a
Jameson is competitive. She's going to be the first to finish.
Does it like if I take one, you take mine, or I
Yes,
is that what it is?
we trade.
Oh, trade. Oh, I've been that before, but I've also been teaching too, so that doesn't. I think I'm gonna keep the nurse. I don't want to be a cashier.
Okay, because I started saying I'd trade my mailman for your nurse. Got either?
Want to be a ship captain or truck driver?
I'd trade my mailman for the ship captain. Love the water. Okay, so we got to go
I don't think either
pursue.
one of you would want to be a cashier.
I actually,
I'll trade you.
dentist.
I got a plumber.
a singer.
Oh, I would be a singer.
Or a
I don't
pilot.
have any talent, but
A pilot, I kind of they make good money. Singer, you look good up on stage. All right. I'll work on teeth probably. You don't want me to fly as a plane. Would you trade? Yes. Okay. Happily. Only this one though, not my kids. I'm okay. How about you can be both? Okay. Assistant and assistant. There we go. Then you can make extra money. Didn't you know when was the Coopers?
Who Who found one that was hard to get rid of? Like everybody was like, ugh, ugh, I don't know.
I had child care workers.
Child care workers. And I think because we all work with maybe older students, child care worker, we're thinking small, toddler, and nobody is signing up for that. Actor or actress. And I don't think I would want that in the public eye all the time, or I don't know. It's not my idea of a good time. Anyway, these are great cards. They are fun to use. You could use them any way that you see fit for your classroom, old or young. If you have elementary, I'm at a K through 12 school and I'm the only counselor, and so they're very versatile for what I needed them to be for such a great price. So I thought they were great.
We have talked to you guys about vertical alignment stuff.
Yes.
Has anybody done a vertical alignment? Yes. And so when I say that, what are we talking about? A vertical alignment for your school counseling program, hopefully in your 3 domains, or very specifically in your career domain, what you're doing at each grade level. So Dr. Curry actually encouraged us to do that as well. And so what she is giving you right now is an example of things that she kind of had spread out for each year. The grade level, and then the career content knowledge, what they would be doing. So I really encourage you to start a spreadsheet and just ask your teachers, what are they already doing? Have them implement it and plug it into that spreadsheet. And then you come along as a school counselor and you might see, oh, I need to do a follow-up lesson with them in this grade level, or I don't need to duplicate those services. We need to go to a deeper level of implementation. So I do encourage you to kind of have that vertical roadmap. That can help you in a couple of different ways. One, it can help you advocate for your program and tell your stakeholders what you're doing. Number 2, when folks start to come to you and say, what are you doing for ICAP, or we got a kind of a plan for ICAP, that kind of can be a starting point as well. And then we, the Career Tech Agency, we do a lot of Carl Perkins monitoring. And no matter what your district spends their money on with Carl Perkins, we do talk to your school counseling program. And that is one of the biggest questions that folks struggle with is, tell me about your school counseling program. And they can't answer that. And that concerns me, that we can't tell and articulate to other people what it is we do. And this would be a great starting point to do that, okay? The other thing that we want, where's the, oh, I put my notes over here and then I walked away. The other thing that she talked about was literature. So my younger, or anybody who's, I don't think we have any elementary counselors in here, do we?
I think we did.
Do we have any elementary?
I'm like her.
You're like her?
Well.
Then you're elementary too in the current one moment. So do you use any literature with that?
No, because I'm mainly in the high school all the time.
Okay, I can understand that. So she also gave us a list of books for pre-K through 3. So kind of starting to integrate that literature. Here's a list of books that can help you
And I just gave these to my elementary teachers, and
so
they
you
were
can
able
kind of
to
look at some of
implement
those. Yeah. Who has that hat? Whose are these tools? So I had a 2nd grade teacher that would have a career day where the student would bring in tools of the trade that their parent used in their occupation. So we had a lot of kids bring in a red pen and a grade book. Their parent was a teacher. All right. We had a young lady bring in a big red helmet and a jacket. Her father was a fireman. So tools of the trade. Your teachers may already be doing that, and that is something that you would put on this vertical alignment, and then you could follow up with some of this literature. And then the last thing that we want to talk to you about is a family tree. And when you think about going back to your community, not only to your kids, but as well just with your faculty, just like we did today, having them rank yourself, how prepared are you? Thinking about the careers that you were exposed to from your family, okay? Or those that are close to you. Not only what was the career, but what was the work value that you got from that? That was a good reflection for us. A lot of you mentioned earlier, I knew education, my family was in education, so oftentimes when we're exposed to something, we kind of have some similar knowledge about that. So kind of having not only your own faculty reflect on that, but your students as well can be helpful at a young age and at an older age too. There are several versions of this out there, okay? There's this version that's really adult. There's a younger version on our website for younger elementary kids. There's also a version from Family and Consumer Science in one of their publications. Oh, yeah, this is the Family and Consumer Science one. And so this one is really focusing, it's blank. It just has the relationship, mother, father, siblings, grandfather, aunt, uncle. This one asks specifically what their career is. So this one you could focus more on what's the work value that you gained from them. Was it hard work ethic? Was it pride in your work? Was it integrity? What was it? And then this one is really focusing on that career. And then we have one more. Are we wanting to talk about the roadmap just yet, or wait till the end? The roadmap for Florida? Wait. Okay. So then we also have, Cindy ran across this, I think just in her research. There was this career pathway from Florida, and we really liked the way that this was mapped out, where it talked about, here's your high school diploma, and then it just has some offshoots of different things that you can do. A technical degree, an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, and then drilling down. Our version of that would be that 1, 2, 4 or more that we've kind of talked about. And you even could do that with those little cards. When you have a teacher, how many years of education does a teacher have to go get? 4. Having them identify that. How many years of education does a fireman need to get? So having them identify a few of those. So I'll pass this out while you guys move on to the next section.
All right. And that graphic from the University of Florida, it goes along with the State Department of Career Tech here in Oklahoma that has the 1, 2, 4 and more program, which I think is really catchy. It's a good thing to share with our students that, you know, we all know that sometimes they're not going to, not that they won't eventually, but sometimes they're really biting a lot off with their future plans. And if they can realize that if they get stuck along the way somewhere, that there are other options that they could still finish and have something similar. So maybe you've known that student that wants to be a veterinarian, but you know that their ACT score is not going to allow them to reach that probably unless something really, you know, happens. And so maybe we can help direct them into something more like a veterinarian assistant program or something like that. You know, just to discuss, not that you can't do it, but there are options along the way that you might step off and do that and be done faster, and different ways of looking at it. And so the 1, 2, 4 and more slogan is something, this is on the Oklahoma Career Tech website, and that Florida map kind of goes along with it.
And if you're wanting to pick up a 1, 2, 4 more today, there are posters right outside the store, the free resource table, and then also the OK Career Guide booth.
We're ready to do those? Okay, I'm doing on time. Good. And I had a good question from a table that said, who's the she we keep referring to? And that is Dr. Curry. She's the one that did this Meaningful Career Conversations workshop in December, and we attended it, and we just thought that it was such good, valuable information that we wanted to share it with you all. So we're stealing, I guess you'd say, but she publicly shared with us. So we just think we're sharing good information, but when we say that she is her. Now we're going to do a work values sort with you. And I don't know if you've ever done that type of thing with real cards. I've done it on computers, like on OKCIS when we had that. I did it on OK Career Guide, I think, maybe OK College Start. You know, we have those work sorter activities that we can do where we put cards in certain orders, you know, of preference on the computer, and it tells us what our work values are. Well, this is a way of doing it hands-on. So
very important. Integrity was a close second. That could have gone either way for me.
Right.
They're probably the best thing to be. I'm sure it's appreciated.
Care about, but the top ones are important. So if we have to move those, choosing between the two of those, that's
And so every career we can think of has some work values that are stronger than others. You know, if you are achievement oriented, then that means that you're going to want to see jobs that finish. You're going to want to be able to see that you've achieved it. You know, if your job is to vacuum this floor, you're going to want to be able to know that when you get done, it's clean and it looks good. You've achieved it. So that's important to you. So if you do those online sorters, it links them. Okay, Career Guide, you get ideas of things that will benefit you in the long run to feel like you are valued in your work. And so those are really good things to do. But they're fun to do just like we just did, I think.
Okay, so we want to actually take you to, we give you a lot of resources, but we do want to talk about the actual meaningful career conversations. And so what you see up there on the slide right now are the meaningful career conversations. There are about 4 types. There are conversation starters that are great just journal entries for students, bell ringers, or I've also seen people paste them on Jenga pieces, and they pull a Jenga piece and answer the question. This is actually the meaningful career conversation and the correlation to the mindsets and behaviors. So Dana Weil this morning mentioned the mindsets and behaviors for college and career readiness. Those are the standards for students. So that's what you see on the left-hand side. That first column, understanding that post-secondary education and lifelong learning are necessary for long-term career success. That is what we want to be instilling in students. We want them to have that mindset now and when they leave us. And so there are 3 columns there. Questions for parents that will help you build that mindset. Questions for your community that will help you build that mindset. And then questions or prompts for students. So when we look at that, one of my favorite parts of that is that for the parents, let's see, have you had the opportunity to discuss the type of problems that your student would like to solve in the future? On the student side, that far left column, I like that one that says, as you consider your future, what type of options after high school have you already explored? And there's that language again, 1, 2, 4, or more. So really instilling that. So I think this is a tool that's research-based that's there for us to use. So that's just, and we'll send you this PowerPoint. That's just one snippet of it. So let me show you where you go find the whole plethora of those. If you will go to the American School Counselor Association and type up here in the search bar, career conversation starters, here they are. So that first one, that career conversation starters, that is just the mindset and then the question. That was the one that I said would be great journal prompts or bell ringers or pasted on Jenga, or you just ask it as an exit question one day, okay? Then we also have the one that we looked at, that's high school career conversation starters. So that looks very similar. That's the one I just took a snippet of. And so it has the 5 mindsets and then the behaviors and learning strategies aligned to it as well. Notice they're in Spanish. We have middle school career conversation starters. So they change developmentally. And again, here's the mindset. There's the question for the parents, the community, and the students. And then we have this last one. Oh, there's 2 more. The post-secondary, so any of you who are career tech counselors or my Choctaw Nation folks working with folks that are going to go back to school, that post-secondary career conversation starter is great. And then there's even one, questions that you should be asking your business partners. And so that's really a great one too, as you start to integrate those folks. So we wanted you to know that is there. This was a training that we brought the American School Counselor Association in to do called Meaningful Career Conversations. It's about $2,400, which is really not that much. So if you work in a large district or you can grab a bunch of sending school partners together and bring that training in. I think it was well worth it. You could write a grant with your foundation. You could write a Carl Perkins grant. Lots of ways for you to disseminate this information and not only empower school counselors, but empower your teachers to do this work of ICAP. So that's all I wanted to say about the Ask a Meaningful Career Conversations. And we want to go back to you and kind of ask what question. I'm going to let Cindy kind of lead that. What questions you might have.
Okay. So, and I don't want it to be just to us, but to anybody in the room. So if you have a question, I would invite that you say it, and then anybody that has an answer to it, feel free to answer it, because I think that we are all stronger together. Any questions? Where is the necklace, right? We're right after lunch. But we try to keep you guys up, and that way you wouldn't get too sleepy.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how many, she was excited that I raised my hand. How many people you need for this, or how many you would recommend?
Very good question. We had 50.
You had 2 days.
I had 2 days of 50 and 50. Okay. She asked, how many people do you need to bring in the Ask a Trainer? So I think it's $2,400. I think you could do 10, but she doesn't like to go over 50. When you go over 50, they need an additional trainer, okay? And that $2,400, there's lots of training that they offer, but that $2,400 covers her, the intellectual fees for this, that she brings the material, it covers her travel, everything like that, okay? There's also a career development specialist training through the American School Counselor Association that you might be interested in if you just want to learn a little bit more. But this is a great way to empower others at your school site to participate in this ICAP work.
Because we know that the counselors take the majority of the weight on that, and it's really not meant to be that way. And so it helps to spread the knowledge, spread the wealth, and the responsibility.
The cards, the occupational cards, is there any other way that you could see using that? Seeing a head nod, is that something you want to share? It was her. You knew I would call you out. What about Go Fish? Could you have younger kids play Go Fish? Matching? Match to the 1, 2, 4 or more?
And she had a lot of activities. I mean, we spent a whole day in this training, and we're giving you 45 minutes of it, I think.
Right.
Approximately.
Yeah.
So we just shared what I guess we really, really, really liked about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Are the activities something that they have on the ASCA website or anything?
The activities are not things that they have on the ASCA website. She is a school counseling professor, and so these are just things that she's gathered as she's had students in the field, as she has been working, etc. I will say that the $100, $200 that you pay to be an American School Counselor Association member well pays itself off because there's all sorts of webinars. I think her and the partner that she's written these books with, they've done 3 webinars that are on there, so that would be really helpful. Especially if you're in a team, ask your PTA or someone to pay that membership fee, and the team. Watch a webinar once a month. Get aligned to research-based, national model, things that are going on there. Any other thoughts? Work value sort, that's a fun one to do with your faculty to get them involved. Even having them take the assessment on OK Career Guide, because there's 12 work values there. These are a little different work values, so kind of doing both.